everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. I have a very special guest tonight. Al Smith is joining me, and Al actually is one of many high school seniors that approached me this year about doing their senior project. And I have learned that unless I am over the top impressed, that I'm not going to take my time to work with this person. So Al is here representing the fact that not only did he go over the top, he went so high. I've got on high heels tonight so I can even be standing beside him. But he did the best job of introducing himself to me and also challenging me to allow him to do this project with me. So Al, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
You've done a great job. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be preparing tonight.
Okay. Well, tonight we're going to be doing a veal roulade. It's going to be stuffed with some chanterelle mushrooms, some parsley, some lemon, and some cayenne pepper. It's going to have some thyme that it's going to roast in, and it's going to have a bed of spinach on the inside. We're going to roll it up, and we're going to make some nice clean slices through it and lay it on top of the plate. It's going to look fantastic. It's going to be really simply seasoned with some kosher salt and some white pepper.
Wonderful. Well, as you can see, he is a Brit, came here from the UK. He said he's never said y'all, so the challenge is tonight that I might have him saying y'all, and he might have me talking like a Brit before the show is over. So let's get started with these vegetables for the filling.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be working with chanterelle mushrooms tonight. Chanterelle mushrooms are fantastic because they give you the opportunity to have a mushroom that is going to fully absorb flavor, but also have a bit of bite to it, almost an al dente mushroom. So the simplest thing to do is to keep true to the mushroom and let the mushroom's flavor come out. So what we're going to be doing is kind of highlighting the woody taste of a chanterelle mushroom, just really simply mixing it into a bowl with some parsley.
Gosh, and you know, I'm so excited because I've actually never used these myself, so these are going to be great. They're
fantastic. They're just coming to season right now, so they're pretty widely available. We went down to the fresh market, and I remember having them and seeing, you know, that's the mushroom for us.
That's it.
So we're going to take, you know, maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of parsley. We're going to mix in some extra virgin olive oil. We're going to be using some cayenne pepper. Just a couple of
teaspoons? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Squeeze of lemon juice. We're going to take just a pinch of salt and a pinch of white pepper. And I've always stuck true to the fact that the best tool in the kitchen is your hands. So the easiest thing to do is really just kind of get in there and get messy. I mean, that's half the fun in the kitchen.
I'm going to move over here to the frying pan.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, make sure everything's coated. Smells fantastic. I mean, the olive oil we're using is fantastic. I've always told people, you know, make sure you use olive oil from a can. It's more often cold pressed. It makes a much cleaner.
Well, why don't you let me get started on that while you work on that veal?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the veal. We're going to be butterflying it, which is essentially taking slices down the middle, and then we're going to pound it out with a hammer so that it kind of spreads out, becomes a nice, thin, easy to handle piece of meat. So what we're going to be doing is taking it and splitting it down the length. Now the piece of meat that we're using this time is a top round. Top round comes from the rear leg of the calf. It's essentially the upper thigh, if it's the top round. So as we're using the top round, it's quite a lean piece of meat. So there's not too much fat. There's not a lot of marbling in it, but being that it's so lean, there's the chance that you may get, you know, connective tissue and everything like that, which is very easy to handle, very easy to take care of. All you're going to do is just keep going down.
And a sharp knife is what you need to be using.
Absolutely.
And also, when we went to the fresh market, Al and I actually went shopping together for everything for the show tonight, and they'll help you with anything. Mm-hmm. You know, Al mentioned to me that sometimes, you know, butchers don't get the opportunity to use their skill set, so they are so nice at the fresh market. If you want them to make some of these marks for you so that when you get home, all you have to do is pound it down, they're happy to do whatever you need to have done.
Absolutely. A lot of times, you know, fishmongers, butchers, they don't always get the chance to show their skills completely. So they're always down to do it. If you ask them, you know, can you bone this? Can you fillet this? Can you trim this? They are more than happy to do it. That's what they get paid for. That's what they train for. A lot of people train for years and they never get the opportunity to.
All right, well, we're going to let these mushrooms and parsley and all of these wonderful ingredients keep rendering and reducing down. we're going to get this meat pounded down, and when we come back from the break, we're going to get started on actually putting this together. But I want you to tweet a screenshot of the show, because we're going to give something away tonight. So take a picture of yourself watching the show, or actually a screenshot of the show. We'll talk more about that when we come back from the break. Welcome back, and I know I'm having a great time, and I hope you are too. And Al, didn't I tell y'all he knew what he was doing? It's crazy. I mean, during the break, you got all of this finished. You pounded down the meat, and I saw you using both sides of the mallet.
Yeah, absolutely. The first side of the mallet with the spikes allows me to kind of puncture into the meat, give everything a little kind of once over to allow it to break down, and then the flat side just helps me pound it down and out.
That's awesome. And then tell me about the parchment paper under the veal.
Okay. Well, the parchment paper underneath is, first of all, so you can move it around, gives it a little bit more movement, but also the fact that you can roll it a little easier with this. It's a technique that's used in a lot of Eastern style cooking with a bamboo mat. We're going to use parchment paper today to help us roll it. Just gives us a little more grip on the piece of meat.
All right. Well, we're ready to get this this whole thing going.
Absolutely. So what I've done is I've butterflied the veal out, everything like that, pounded it down. You're going to sprinkle it with some kosher salt, kind of all over. You can go pretty heavy with the salt.
Didn't that turn out beautiful? It's just the perfect shape and everything. And, you know, during the break he was doing this, it just was fascinating.
This is just the white pepper, just to kind of give us a really nice flavor.
And then I love the way this turned out, Al.
It's beautiful.
It's cooked down so pretty, and it's so fragrant. Love it.
So then what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the baby spinach. We're going to make almost like a bed in the veal. Okay. Just so that you have something for the filling to lay on top of it. And again, once it's sliced, it's another color contrast. It's just going to look great when you're plating it. So we're going to do that.
And you're leaving that raw.
Yep. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave a border on the outside so that when it cooks, it's not vegetables right on the outside.
Okay, so we're going to put this right on the bed.
Absolutely.
And then you're going to start spreading it out with the spatula.
Just taking a paddle and kind of spreading it and mixing it down.
You know, and veal is that meat that everybody forgets.
Exactly. You know? Either that, and a lot of people are afraid of veal. You know, veal is quite an intimidating meat to cook for some people, but at the end of the day, it is just beef.
And, you know, it was funny yesterday. If y'all could have seen the look on his face when he saw how much this was, but then we've actually will end up with 2 meals out of it because we cut the round in half. All right, so now we're ready to mash it again.
So now that we've spread it all down, we're going to press it down again just so it all kind of compacts into the meat. We're going to press it. There's a lot of moisture in the mushrooms, so a lot of the time it's water, which is fine. It's going to help us with the cooking, everything like that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take the veal. I'm going to pick it up. There we are. Take our hands, really tuck it in there almost like you're making a veal burrito. Sounds fantastic.
Yes, let's try that too. We'll do that on the next show.
We're going to take this, we're going to roll it in, roll it down.
Oh, that worked out great.
There we are.
This just comes out.
And take that out. And there. Everything is rolled in there.
All right.
So then what you're going to do is you're going to take the twine.
And this isn't a race, Al. You know, I love to win, but we're going to take our time doing this right.
Absolutely.
But this is just keeping everything together while it's baking. And the one that we did yesterday practicing, because again, like I said, this is part of Al's senior project. So not only has he created the menu, he's prepared the grocery list, he's gone with me to the store, he's come up with all these wonderful techniques, and literally took complete charge of this. So I'm very proud of him and have enjoyed the opportunity to know a little bit more about how he learned all the skills. While you were in the UK, is that where you kind of, you know, where did your first interest in all of this come from?
Well, originally when I was a kid, I was in a group very similar to Scouts, in which one of our badges requirements was to cook a meal for our family.
Oh, man.
And as a child, that really kind of got me interested. And I mean,
you can start the process going the other way.
Absolutely. So we're going to do vertical ties, and then that way it will all stay together in the oven. But I mean, as a child, I was raised on a lot of different multicultural foods and everything like that. You know, while a lot of kids were having chicken nuggets as a kid, my parents were feeding me shrimp and hummus and tahini and everything like that.
We weren't eating that in Augusta, right, y'all?
I had a lot of exposure.
Right, y'all?
Right, y'all.
I told you I was going to get you to say it. That's awesome.
I figured I would give you the satisfaction of being the first person that I said y'all to.
Well, I think he needs to get an A on this project. But then you see how we're coming across this way, and then that just kind of gives you that much more opportunity for this to be held together. And then to finish this up as he's doing this, he'll take the seasoning, the white pepper and the salt, and kind of go over it again. We've got a pan prepared that we're going to put it in with just you did a bed of aluminum foil in the pan. And this is going to roast for 20 to 25 minutes in a 425-degree oven. And it's going to be completely unbelievable. But now I want you to get that camera out on your phone, and I want you to take the picture of Al and I together. We make such a great pair, and we want you to tweet that because we're going to have a contest at the end. So get that camera out, but come back because we've got a lot more to do. Are you one of those that as soon as you sit down to eat, you immediately pick up the salt and pepper and start seasoning your food? It's almost like that's just an impromptu thing that you do automatically. Well, let's consider this. If you've gone to someone's home for dinner and they've gone to a lot of trouble to prepare a wonderful meal, it is really incorrect and impolite to immediately start seasoning what they think is properly prepared. So let me give you this tip. When you go to a dinner party, go ahead and begin eating the food and take a few bites. Then, if you see that you would like to have more salt or pepper, go ahead and use it at that point. Don't think for 1 minute that that host or hostess or whomever prepared the food is not watching because they want to observe themselves. If everyone at the table had to use more salt and pepper, maybe they didn't season it quite enough. So just be cautious. Go ahead and start eating and then use the salt and pepper. Welcome back, and we have been so busy, and if you're just joining us, I just want to remind you that I have a very special guest tonight, Al Smith. Al, get that spoon. We are dueling in the kitchen. We are having fun tonight, and he's bringing some of his UK influence, and I'm bringing the Southern influence, and we've got a lot going on. So we finished the roast. It looks gorgeous. We've put the one that we did yesterday in the oven at 425 for about 25 minutes, and it's cooking right now. It just smells fantastic in here. And while we were away, you got the Marsala sauce done.
I did, yeah. A quick, simple Marsala sauce. Just dice up some onions, some mushrooms, some salt, a little bit of white pepper, a splash of Marsala to deglaze. Actually, what we did is we used the same pan that we cooked the filling for the veal in. So we deglazed it, got all those flavors, all those spices, everything like that in there. We added a little bit of that. We put some demi-glaze stock in there, and we also sprinkled just a little bit of flour to thicken it up, everything like that.
Oh, it's just great, and there's nothing like a cast iron skillet.
Absolutely not. It holds heat fantastically, and with these induction cookers, I mean, it just works great.
So for those that might just be joining us, tell everybody again what all we're doing tonight.
Okay. Well, tonight we are doing a veal roulade stuffed with some chanterelle mushrooms, some parsley. We're also doing a lemon garlic kale, and we're doing a garden vegetable medley, which is something that I kind of grew up on with a lot of different vegetables and everything like that. It has a very kind of foragey, natural kind of taste to it tonight. So while she's working on the lemon garlic kale, I'm going to be working on the garden medley. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the extra virgin olive oil. Again, if you can, always use a can. So you're going to take this.
I learned that yesterday.
We're just going to add a couple tablespoons in here. This is some corn.
And he cut that corn right off the cob too with one of those sharp knives.
Oh man, those are crazy. So we're going to take some shallots, which I've just sliced. Take some radish, which again I've just sliced through. Made it nice and thin, but also some thicker, just so that you have the opportunity to do it and get a lot of different flavors in it.
And look how colorful that is already.
Absolutely. For presentation, it looks fantastic. So I've just quartered up some basic button mushrooms. I'm going to take some sesame seeds here. Just throw these in here just to toast them down.
They're bouncing in the pan.
Absolutely. Some diced white onion goes into here.
And the kale is kind of the new green vegetable,
it is.
isn't it? It's just like on everybody's menu
anymore. Absolutely. So I've just put in some parsley, and I'm going to put in a little bit of thyme, some salt, some pepper. I'm going to go ahead and mix this all around.
He loves mixing with his hands.
I do. It's the most natural way to mix. It feels fantastic. It's great for your skin.
All this olive oil and everything else. Okay, now this is just before wilted, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and we're going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice on top of that.
Absolutely. And while she's doing that, I'm just going to keep mixing this around. Make it nice and even. Get the heat evenly spread around the whole dish. We don't want anything to be overly cooked or anything to be undercooked. And by toasting the sesame seeds before, it allowed me to bring out their natural flavor. A tip as well when you're using fresh herbs, a lot of the flavor in herbs is from the oil in them. So before I put the thyme in there, I crushed it with the back of a knife. It brings out the oil in the thyme and brings a lot more of that thyme flavor into the dish.
Gosh, that is so colorful. This sauce is so wonderful. So when we come back from the break, we're going to be slicing the veal. You're going to show how to make the most fabulous plate presentation. But in the meantime, you're taking pictures of us right this minute, and you're going to hashtag VeryVera, because we're going to give away one of these beautiful flower arrangements to the best photo. So come back with us after the break. Welcome back. Al, I have learned so much from you in the last 3 days. And how old are you?
I'm 18.
I mean, people think, when I looked at his resume, y'all, I thought this guy's 30-something. And when he came to the cottage to interview, I was so impressed. And I am even more impressed today. And you've actually said, this turned out pretty good.
I was pleasantly surprised. It all turned out how I was hoping it to, not how I was expecting it to.
Okay, teacher, if you're watching, he gets an A on this project. Unbelievable. So while we were away, we got, the meats out of the oven, just looked completely beautiful. And then Al went ahead and sliced a few pieces. Now is where the beauty comes in, correct? We're going to get this meal plated.
Absolutely. All right, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take the Marsala.
Okay, now is that hot?
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine?
I got chef hands. It's all good.
I always worry about those cast iron skillets and their handles. Oh, that is gorgeous. Just gorgeous here.
So I love doing this because what it allows you to do is just use the back of the wooden spoon to spread it out nice and even. All the way down, just like that.
Okay.
Take this, we're going to put that over there. And take a couple pieces of the veal.
And this has just the right amount of pink. The filling just really pops in the center. That is beautiful.
Just like that. We're going to take our lemon garlic kale.
Okay, and this is where you had a little trick, right, with the cup?
Absolutely. So the trick is, if you take a cup, just like this.
Yeah, let me hold this.
You'll see the black lines that I've drawn on there to show where you need to cut it. So you want to cut it all the way across the bottom and take one vertical cut down the middle. What that'll do is that'll leave you with something just like this. It's adjustable so that, however you want to plate it, you can change the size, everything like that.
Oh.
So we're going to do the full size right here. Set that down on the plate. Take the kale. Make sure this is all held together. There we go.
And that just acts as a form.
And then you take it off.
Yes, yes.
Nice and round.
Gorgeous.
We're going to take a nice vegetable medley. It's got corn, radishes, some fresh mushrooms that we've sliced. It's going to take this. Just put a little bit on the plate there.
I get to taste this in a minute. I can't wait.
I'm going to drizzle just a little bit of that extra virgin olive oil over the kale. Just give it a nice little sheen and color to it. And then everyone needs their signature.
Oh, no, this is the part that's so cool.
So what I've done is
it's like a painting.
It is. I've taken some balsamic vinegar and taken just a little bit of sugar, and I've made basically a really nice thick reduction. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to flip the toothpick around, so I'm holding it like a pencil.
Oh, I love it. Okay, when he is a famous chef one day and you go in and sit down in a restaurant in New York City and you see that on the plate, you're going to know you met him first right here on the VeryVera Show.
Absolutely.
And I certainly want to say that if you want to taste some of his cooking, you need to frequent where are you currently working?
I'm working at the Garlic Clove in Evans, Georgia. Currently, I'm a cook down there, and you know, feel free to come on down anytime. It's really nice, authentic Italian food. We've got loads of different dishes. It's all made in-house, and it's a great experience if you ever want to have
that is
that
great.
kind of experience.
Now, I was promised that I could take the first bite of this,
Absolutely.
so I'm going to do that. And before I do, I want to make sure you're out there tweeting these screenshots of this young man, and we want to get those either with your group sitting around watching the show or just a screenshot, and then hashtag VeryVera, because we want to give away this gorgeous flower arrangement right here. Now let's see what this tastes like. I'm not supposed to talk with my mouth full, right?
That's, you know,
Oh
etiquette.
my gosh! That is crazy great. You have got to try this. He made it so easy. Al, thank you so much.
Come here.
I've got to give him a hug. I wore tall shoes so I could reach up there to do that. He's done a great job. I want you to come back and join us again next Saturday night. Everything is getting better and better with the VeryVera Show. When I have guests like this, it makes me so happy. He said, y'all tonight, I'm going to say, whatever you do, do it in good taste. Join us again next Saturday.